The autistic brain has a lot more activity going on than the non-autistic brain. But let's tie this into ADHD and how that relates to a reduction in synaptic pruning. What is that? Think about your brain like a giant tree. Synaptic pruning is a way of trimming extra branches that might not seem important or necessary. This mostly happens in childhood and adolescence. This is an oversimplification, but you have two neurons that give and receive information. The space between them is the synapse, is the neurotransmitter. The autistic brain's like, nope, we need that. We're keeping it. And what ends up happening is there's a lot of noise on the information highway inside the brain. Research shows up to 84% more synapses in an autistic brain. So at rest, the brain is still processing a lot more than a non-autistic brain. This might explain sensory sensitivities or being attuned to bright lights, loud sounds, touch. This might explain deep, detailed thinking, but it also might explain sensory overwhelm and overload. System has too much going on and it crashes. What about ADHD? Well, ADHD shows differences with synaptic pruning in the prefrontal cortex. Things such as attention, focus, and planning, executive function. This can impact things such as sustaining attention, impulsivity, trouble with organization, so on and so forth. What if someone's ADHD and autistic? Let's check it out. Might see a deep focus on a special interest, autism, but having a really difficult time diving into it and starting it, ADHD. Might struggle with transition or changes, autism, and you might have inconsistent attention, ADHD. You might have emotional overwhelm that feels sudden and intense. That's both. You might be a sensory seeker, ADHD. You might be a sensory avoider, autism, sometimes at the same time. It's a very simplified version, but if you ever hear me say hyperconnectivity or hyperconnected brains, now you know what I'm talking about. As a therapist, I work with autistic teens, and if you didn't tell by this video, I have HD ADHD. I'm in high definition, baby. If you're not already following me, make sure to follow. Till next time, my friends.